18-1-701, execution of public duty. Unless inconsistent with other provisions of Section 18-1-702 to 18-1-710, defining justifiable use of physical force, or with some other provision of law, conduct which would otherwise constitute an offense is justifiable and not criminal when it is required or authorized by a provision of law or a judicial decree binding in Colorado. This is a part of Colorado's affirmative defense statutes. It's actually the very first affirmative defense, 18-1-701. A provision of law, in quotes, and a judicial decree, in quotes, in subsection 1 of this section means: A, laws defining duties and functions of public servants. B, laws defining duties of private citizens to assist public servants in the performance of certain of their functions. C, laws governing the execution of legal process. Well, hot damn. Laws governing the execution of legal process. Laws, number D, laws governing the military service and conduct of war. And number E, judgments and order of court. So, you got an order of court, you got a judgment. Laws governing military service, conducts of war. Laws governing the execution of legal process. Laws defining duties of private citizens to assist public servants in the performance of certain functions, and laws defining duties and functions of public servants. You're allowed to do that. 18-1-701, execution of public duty. To stop a crime, to arrest a criminal, to give a criminal some legal papers. All that would fall under Section 18-1-701. People v. Neckel 2019. People v. Neckel 2019. The process server's entry onto land to effect service was legal. And while the landowner quickly revoked the implied license once the owner began interacting with the process service, to the extent the process server's conduct was consistent with the laws governing the heavens to Murgatroyd, laws governing the execution of legal process, the conduct remained statutorily privileged even after the owner revoked the implied license. Colorado Court of Appeals, you are clear as mud. People v. Neckel, but ultimately they made the right decision. Okay, so what happened? What is People v. Neckel? What is this People v. Neckel that I keep talking about? Well, it's an opinion by Judge Grove. Philip J. Weiser, who's the Attorney General right now. That's the current Attorney General. Also Gabriel P. Olivares and Alan M. Lejewski, and that's it. And that's it. Lejewski's for the alternate defense counsel from Longmont, Colorado, for the defendant appellant. So it's Phil Weiser and Gabriel P. Olivares and Alan M. Lejewski versus each other. And Judge Grove is going to affirm their conviction, which means he went against the appeal attempt. So Eric Alexis Neckel, Neckel, not Nickel, Neckel. He appeals his convictions for felony menacing and second-degree criminal tampering. He contends the trial court erred by not sua sponte correcting alleged misstatements by the victim and the prosecutor and by rejecting defense tendered jury instructions. We affirm. Background. The people charged Neckel with felony menacing and second-degree criminal tampering after he threatened a process server with a lead pipe and then jacked up the process server's car, preventing him from leaving. What? I'm going to hit you with this lead pipe. You're not leaving. Nope. I got this lead pipe. You're not leaving. And he jacks up the process server's car, preventing him from leaving. He's clearly there to serve papers, but guess what? Neckel don't give a fuck. He ain't a lawful person. Eric Alexis Neckel, he threatens the guy with the lead pipe. He's chasing him all around the car, and then he jacks. This shows you that the process server was not intimidating Neckel, because Neckel had all the time in the world to get a jack, one of those, and then jack the damn car up. And then when the car was jacked up, I mean, depending if it was rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, but assuming it was, the side that he jacked up. Now, the process server cannot leave. Now, I think it's incredible that this is even a question. Process server must be the lowest man on the damn totem pole when it comes to the prosecutor and the defense attorney and the judge and the cops. What's a process server? Just some regular citizen trying to make a couple bucks, helping to pass out some legal papers. Maybe it's to the wealthy people that can afford it. Maybe it's to people that need justice. Who knows? He's a process server. He's just there to pass out legal papers. And since we're all Americans, we're all happy to hear what the process server has to say, invite him in, give him cheeseburgers and lemonade. In fact, we love our process server so much, we'll jack their cars up to make sure they will never leave. We kidnapped them. It's crazy that Neckel actually only got fucking charged with felony menacing and goddamn second-degree criminal tampering. Oh my God. That don't even sound like he did anything. It was like he was trying to do something but didn't. Felony menacing and second-degree tampering, huh? No, he was kidnapping somebody against he attempted murder, right? Attempted fucking murder, attempted assault. What the fuck? Felony menacing. Tried to scare him with a deadly weapon. So the lead pipe is a deadly weapon? Okay, maybe, I guess. If a lead pipe is a deadly weapon, then an automobile is definitely a deadly weapon. So yeah, Eric fucking Alexis Neckel, piece of shit. He lives in a rural area of Larimer County. His house is set back quarter mile. There's a long U-shaped driveway. There's like a little no trespassing sign off to the side. But the driveway is not gated. There's no fencing around the property. Just a little no trespassing sign. That's it. And then apparently another no trespassing sign on the side of the barn behind the house to only the chickens could see that. Only the humble pig, Charlotte's Web and Wilbur. A process server, the victim drove to Neckel's house one afternoon to serve Neckel some papers. He parked in the driveway, went to the house, knocked on the door. He heard no immediate response. The victim left a note with his contact information. It's not even saying that he had papers for him. He's just saying, here's a note. And then he turned away. As he turned away, guess what this motherfucking Neckel says? This Eric Alexis Neckel. He's not even good at trying to be a intimidating piece of shit. The motherfucking guy, the process server, is walking away. He put a card on your door. He's walking away. What, he scared you? Now he's turned his back to you. Now all of a sudden you got some fucking confidence? Neckel then asked the victim if he had ever been shot. What? Well, actually, he asked him if he ever been killed. That's the first question he asked. Hey boy, you ever been killed before? Once back in Nam. Once back in Nam and once back in the War of 1812. But not since, no. Yeah, your battery's running low. How much time? 10 minutes? Okay. Neckel then asked the victim if he had ever been shot. You ever been killed? Like I said, back in Nam. You ever been shot? No. It was by knife. The victim said, not yet. You ever been killed? No. You ever been shot? Not yet. The victim tried to tell Neckel, I'm just here trying to serve some paper. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'm Eric Alexis Neckel. I'm Eric Alexis Neckel. You want to serve me with some papers? Why? Yeah, I kicked her. I kicked her. But you're not going to serve me no damn papers. No fucking way. I ain't going back. Eric Neckel begins berating the victim, telling him that he had no right to be there. Eric Alexis, is that his middle name? Okay, so Alexis Neckel. Alexis Neckel is berating the victim, telling him he had no right to be there, was trespassing, demanded that the victim get off his land. The victim was getting off his land. That's why it's stupid that we even went to the Supreme Court to figure this out, frankly. When the victim asked Neckel to identify himself, Eric Alexis Neckel, So he could confirm service of the papers, Neckel picked up a large metal pipe. The process server is funny. I'm just here to serve some papers, are you? Eric Alexis Neckel? Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I'm trying to scare you, and now you've called me out? He didn't even serve the papers. He would have drove away not knowing if he served the fucking papers. Eric Alexis Neckel fucked himself. He fucked himself. Let him put the papers there. What the process server will have to say is that, he served him by absence or whatever the fuck that is. So he'll have to say that, he put it at his house that he should be living at. The victim said if you do that, it's murder. When he picked up the large metal pipe. When Eric Alexis Neckel says it's coming on 3, the victim retreated behind his car. He then told Neckel that he was serving him by refusal, but Neckel began circling the car with the pipe. The victim kept the car between himself and Neckel. But after a few circuits, Eric Alexis Neckel placed a hydraulic jack under the front wheels of the victim's car and lifted it up off the ground. Immediately after this exchange, the victim turned on a voice recorder. Audio of the remainder of the interaction was captured on that device on contemporaneous 9/11 recorders or both. Wow. So 911 recorded some of it and then a voice recorder. So both men called 911 in the midst of this slow motion chase. The victim reported that Neckel had threatened him with a 3-foot piece of pipe and had put a jack under his car, preventing him from leaving the property. Neckel called 911 4 times. During the first call, he and the 911 operator had the following exchange. He's on private property. I'm going to neutralize the threat right now. He's trying to leave. What's the threat? The threat is he needs to get to the car, but you're trying to block it. You're trying to provoke a fight. He's trying to provoke a fight so he'll fucking hit him. He wants to hit him, so it doesn't fucking matter. It's the wolf and the lamb. Were you talking about me? Well, your father is talking about me. What you doing upstream? You're downstream. It doesn't matter. I'm a wolf and you're a lamb. 911 operator. No, you can't do that. Would you like me to render him incompetent? Would you like me to shoot him? No, I want you to go inside and shut and lock the door and wait for a deputy. That I won't do. He's in front of my house, okay? And he has no business. Are you behind on any payments? Why is he there? It matters not. The 911 operator repeatedly told Neckel to go inside, although it's not clear from the record whether he did so before the victim left. Nonetheless, at some point during the 911 calls, the victim's vehicle was released from the jack and he left the area to meet the police. Eric Alexis Neckel was charged with 1 count of felony menacing for threatening the victim with a metal pipe and 1 count of second-degree criminal tampering for using the jack to prevent the victim from leaving in his car. A jury found Neckel guilty of both counts. Analysis. Neckel raises 3 contentions on appeal. First, he argues that the trial court committed plain error when it failed to sua sponte correct 4 alleged misstatements by the victim and the prosecutor regarding the law of trespass. Second, he contends that the trial court did a whole bunch of other stuff. So, ultimately, what does any of this mean? Execution of public duty, motherfucker. A process server comes up to your house to give you papers. Let him put it on the porch. Let him put them on your front door. Frankly, meet the guy at the front door. And don't be intimidated. He's got papers. He clearly identifies himself. Take the papers. It's not him that's doing it. He's, carrying the will of somebody else out. But it's a legal process. So he's carrying out a legal process for somebody else. Somebody else has beef with you. So you got to take it up with them. And that's what that whole thing is they're basically inviting, oh, you got beef? Okay, well, let's figure this shit out in court. And I wish court actually resolved disputes. Could you imagine if court resolved people's disputes? Could you imagine if the end goal of court was justice? Imagine all the people living for the day.